Before this video begins, I'd like to give a huge thanks to my channel members who you can see on screen now. Become a member by hitting the join button and get your name here among other awards today. Hello there and welcome back to Forza Top Gear Labs Rivals, the spin-off where we pit a couple of cars with common ground and close PIs against each other to see which one comes out on top. Today we take a look at two family saloons turned performance megastars that had a fierce rivalry both on the road and on the harsh courses of rally, changing the face of performance cars and rallying in the process. Firstly, we have the Subaru Impreza WRX STI. The Impreza was originally introduced in 1992 with the WRX or World Rally Experimental Performance model being intended to run in the World Rally Championship. By 1994 they had introduced a more powerful variant called the STI. This model would go through several updates throughout the life of the first generation Impreza and would become a mainstay model in the Impreza family. In 1995, Subaru would get its first driver championship win with Colin McRae, and 3 consecutive manufacturers championships from 1995 to 1997. The car we have here is a second generation Impreza WRX STI, first introduced in the year 2000 and updated in 2003 to the car we have here. Nicknamed the Blob-Eye, this version features the EJ20-7 engine, a 4-cylinder boxer engine combined with a twin-scroll turbocharger, making for both a lower center of gravity and a very distinctive sound. While this would be the first STI sold in the US, they featured the bigger yet just as powerful EJ25-7 turbo engine. Outside of more power, the STI model featured a 6-speed transmission and a more advanced differential among several other changes. On the rallying circuit, the WRC version proved successful, with driver championship wins in 2001 and 2003 at the hands of the legendary Richard Burns and Petter Solberg, although Subaru would pull out of WRC in 2008 thanks to the financial crisis. Many consider the second generation of Impreza to be the high point of the Impreza range, and it is still a very popular and sought after car to this day, being popular in car modification cultures along with amateur racers and rally drivers. Next we have the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution MR. Similar to the Impreza, the performance-orientated Lancer Evolution was intended for rallying and was introduced in 1992. Within just a few years, the Evolution would be feared on the rally stage, with Mitsubishi picking up 4 consecutive driver championship wins with the Evolution, from 1996 to 1999, with the legendary Tommy Mäkinen at the helm, along with a manufacturer's championship in 1998. While the Evolution would go through several facelifts, in 2001 it would receive a major change to the Lancer Cedar platform, and this particular version is the Evolution 9 model, being the final revision to this design. The Evolution features the turbocharged 2-litre 4G63 4-cylinder engine, with the 9 having a revised turbocharger and variable valve timing. The MR is the highest tier of Evolution and features a 6-speed transmission and various weight-saving features among other improvements. While the second gen Impreza had success on the rallying circuit, Mitsubishi wasn't able to replicate their previous success and pulled out of the WRC in 2005. Although the team at Rally Art UK would take over the project, they also received little success. The Evolution had decidedly focused more on track performance than rally performance as Subaru had. The Lancer Evolution would be cancelled in 2015, along with the base model Lancer in 2017. Much like the WRX STI, it has received a big following by car enthusiasts and aftermarket performance modification specialists alike. So there you are, 2 humdrum family saloon cars turned into turbocharged dominators come shine, rain, gravel, dirt or snow. Now it's time to see which one will come out on top on the track. Alright, let's do this. We begin with the 2004 Subaru Impreza WRX STI, 278 horsepower, 290 foot-pound torque, 3,270 pounds of weight. While I did allude to the North American version in the script, this is an Asian market model with the EJ20 engine, no EJ25 for this one, which should in theory mean it's a little bit lighter. I'm a huge fan of the Subaru Impreza. Hell, once upon a time in real life I used to own one, although it wasn't a turbo model or a WRX or anything fancy like that. I am a big fan of the way these cars drive in real life and indeed how they drive in Forza. They are my sort of go-to when you ask me how a all-wheel drive car should drive. They drive pretty much spot on for my driving style. You have the security of all-wheel drive at the cost of a little bit of understeer. They are also a little bit wobbly on the suspension, but I like that. It's a good little bit of feedback to get in a car. It doesn't make it feel too rigid and undrivable. Overall, they're just very, very nice, easy to drive, drivable vehicles. And I personally don't believe you can really go wrong when it comes to a Subaru Impreza. These can do pretty much anything you build them to be. They are excellent basis for tuning or driving stock. Whatever you like to do, the Subaru Impreza is always ready to be at your service, and yeah, it's very easy to see why these cars have a lot of fans. Next up, we have the 2006 Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution IXMR, or 9, I should say. 286 horsepower, 289 foot-pound torque, 3,285 pounds of weight. So between these cars, there is 15 pounds of weight, with the Subaru being lighter, 1 torque in favour of the Subaru, and the Mitsubishi has 8 more horsepower. That is your overall differences. Whether or not that will make a difference, well, we'll see when it comes to the leaderboard. But of course, a car can be all sorts of different things on paper. It actually depends how it drives in-game, and the Mitsubishi and the Subaru actually do drive quite a bit different. While the Subaru is sort of a very forgiving, very drivable, all-wheel drive car that you can chuck around and have some fun in, the Mitsubishi feels a lot more focused, a lot more rigid. This car does not have the body roll issues that the Subaru has. This feels a lot more determined, a lot more harsh. It does still have the ponderous understeer that the Subaru has, that slight amount of understeer, but for me in this car it just doesn't gel quite as well. I think it's because when it comes to having a little bit of understeer in the Subaru, it sort of suits it, whereas this car, which feels a lot more harder and track ready and a lot more rigid, it feels almost disjointed. It feels like it really shouldn't be understeering. So yeah, a little bit of a disconnect there. Overall, not quite as nice to drive as the Subaru for me personally, but nevertheless, it is still a cracking car to drive. You really can't go too wrong with the Evolution. Onto the scoreboard though, and the Impreza is the winner of today, going to 199th place with a 124.884, puts it in between a Lancia Delta S4 road car and a modified Chevrolet Fleetline, quicker than a couple of Evos and an 05 Impreza, which I attribute to the fact the 05 Impreza was run a long time ago. Moving on to the Lancer, and that ends up in a 211th place with a 125.464. Goes in between a Mercedes-Benz ML63 and a Golf R. It is quicker than a Golf R, Porsche 928, Nissan Skyline R33. Still a very, very quick time, and actually not that far off the Subaru's pace. They just look like they're a long way away on the leaderboards, considering how many cars we've got in that room. Overall, if you ask me to pick which one of these two cars I prefer, I am going to have to side on the Subaru. It drives a lot better in my mind. I think it looks that little bit better, and I would much rather own a Subaru in real life than put up with a Mitsubishi interior and Mitsubishi reliability. That being said, the Evo 9 is a fantastic car, one of my top 3 favourite of the Evo family, and you really can't go wrong with either one of these cars. So let me know down below in the comment section which one of these you prefer. I'm sure there's going to be some form of massive argument, because I know these two cars do have quite a ravenous fan base. So yeah, thank you all very much for watching. Join me for the main episode coming in a couple of days, and next time on Rivals, which should be happening sometime in the next week. So thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, farewell.